Hello everyone, how are you?
Hello, sir.
Good to see you guys. How are you guys?
Yes, sir, fine.
Fine, okay. So just tell me guys, where are you from and in which college you are exactly pursuing your course? All are on the same college?
Yes, sir. We are from an IIT university, and we all are pursuing cybersecurity as our specialization.
Okay, okay, okay. That's great. Okay, so before starting this particular training, I just want to know like how many people, how many you guys aware about the cyber security and the hacking terms, and what type of things you are already done in the cyber security as well as the hacking related parts. Hello.
So we've had one semester of courses so far in our specialization, 2 semesters, sorry. So we've done the basics in almost all the courses, but it would be great if you can maybe just reiterate, like just upper say for all the other students. So in case anyone has any doubts, which maybe there.
Okay, okay, Aman. Your name is Aman, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, guys. Let me clear you one thing. Please aware about in whole session, because I'll just take a attendance after ending of this session, before ending of this session. So please aware and do connect in a every day, so you can learn about, and you can also learn about some new technologies related hacking techniques and related the cyber security terms, which is actually work in a live scenarios also. So I will introduce myself also, but firstly I'll just wait like everyone is will be connected, then I will introduce myself. Okay, so I just repeat the question like how many guys you know aware about the cyber security, and if the anyone is already done some type of basic hacking techniques, and you will perform some type of other techniques also which related to like a cyber security and hacking. So just tell me. Anyone? Okay, not an issue, guys. So let's start our training that is based on the certified ethical hacker, that is called as a CS training. And in this training I will teach you, like I will instruct you like how you can hack the different types of operating systems, how you can hack the different types of networks on the basis of network based hacking as well as system based hacking also. So before starting this complete training, I would like to introduce myself. As you can see my name on the screen, that is Rachit Goyal, and basically I'm a certified ethical hacker and provided different types of training in a cyber security domain, which is related to like a ethical hacking, which is related to like a penetration testing, forensic investigation, and something more also that is related to vulnerability assessment, penetration testing, and so many. So I am the instructor of your whole course. So if you have any doubt related to like what type of thing we are going to learn in this course, so you can easily ask me during the training session. I will open the mics, so if anyone is having some related doubt, you have some doubt in the any type of topic which I am explaining you, so you can ask me anytime, and so that your doubts will be clear, and other persons can also clear our doubts once anyone can ask the questions. Okay, clear to all?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, and guys, just do one thing, just respond me, because I just want to this session as an interactive session. So if I'm only explaining from my side and you are not interact with me, so this session is going to very bold. So I just want you guys also participate with me, and if I'm asking some type of question, so you just replied for that particular at the appropriate time, as well as you can also ask me the questions at the same time. Like if you are having any type of problem related to any type of module, as I already said, so you can ask me on the same time. So if you participate with this training, so definitely this training is basically giving you the more advanced part of hacking related things, and I will tell you the most advanced techniques also, which is related to like a cyber security and ethical hacking. So after that you can easily grow your career in a cyber security, and you can easily switch our profile in a penetration testing as well as the different domains of the cyber security also. So I hope so my point is clear to all, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
great guys. Okay, so I hope so my screen visible to all.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Visible.
Great. So guys, before starting this particular session, again I asking the same question, like what do you guys understand about the hacking? So in just one word, you just tell me, like if you have heard about the term that is a hacking, so what the first thing is basically comes in your mind? Like hacking is a legal term or a illegal term? Like what is it? Just one word answer.
Sir, it's legal. Basically, taking permission of someone and then getting their information. That is known as hacking. And if we would go into technicalities, then cracking would be the term which would be illegal.
Okay, okay. So according to you, hacking, like if there's someone asking you, like what do you understand about like hacking term? So how would you explain that term to that person? Like hacking is what?
So, with someone's permission, we can like use different methods and technologies to get access to any resources.
Okay,
So that is hacking according to me.
okay,
Sir,
okay,
actually getting access, sir, actually getting access to some system which you are not supposed to have actually.
okay, okay. So it's a illegal or a legal process?
So that depends because hacking is just a technique to get access to someone's system. But if you do it with someone's permission, that is ethical hacking. If not, uh,
Yeah, guys, you are right. Your name is Shri.
that's a Srivatsa.
Okay, okay. You are right, Shri. That is, Shri is basically defining the right definition. But again, anyone else who want to tell like what they understand about once they are just heard about the term that is a hacking? Okay, great guys. So I would like to tell you like the basic definition of the hacking. That is again a basic algo of hacking. So after understanding about this basic definition, the basic definition of hacking, so you can easily understand like what is it and what type of things is basically involved in this part. Okay. So the first thing, hacking, what is hacking? If you're just going to talk about, so hacking, we can say that that is a simple technique, and this technique can be done by the two part. The first one, which is called as a VA, and the second thing, which is called as a PT. So what is VA? VA is basically called as a vulnerability assessment, and in the vulnerability assessment, we are just trying to find out some type of weaknesses from the system as well as the network. So overall, if you're just going to talk about like where we can perform the hacking, so we can perform the hacking over the two things. The first one, that is a physical based hacking, and the second thing which we can perform the network based hacking. In the physical based hacking, we can hack the any type of system. Like if the system is basically having a physical access to the attacker, so the attacker can easily hack that system. Maybe that system is basically a type of IoT device, maybe that type of computing device itself also. So the attacker can also hack that particular computing device with the using of physical based hacking procedure. If the computing device is basically having a physical access to the attacker. Okay, so in the part of network based hacking, in the network based hacking, the attacker can hack that particular computing device if the device is basically connected in the network and that device is configured with the IP address. So if the device is basically connected to the network and they are having some IP address, so the person is trying to find out, like the attacker is basically trying to find out some type of vulnerability which is present in that particular application as well as the network as well as the system, and after that we are just trying to hack that particular system. So we are performing the two types of hacking. The first one, which is called as a system based hacking, which is also called as a physical hacking, and the second thing that is called as a network based hacking. Okay, so what is weakness? If we are just going to talk about like what type of things we are basically find out from the system as well as the network, so we are basically find out the weaknesses. So what is weakness? Weakness is basically, you can say that that is the loopholes. Weakness, you can say that these are the vulnerable point which the attackers are basically using for entering in that particular system or a network. If the attacker is basically want to hack that particular system as well as the network, so firstly they need to find out the loophole from there. And if they are find out any type of loophole which is present in that particular system or a network, so that loophole, that vulnerable point, that vulnerability is basically find out into the phase of vulnerability assessment. So I hope so guys, the vulnerability assessment phase is clear to all, like what type of process basically involved in a vulnerability assessment, right guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so in the penetration testing, that is the second phase of the hacking, and in this phase we are just talk about like we are just exploit that particular vulnerability which are already find out into the vulnerability assessment phase via the sending of payload, and that payload is basically created with the scripting language. So just tell me guys, how many aware about the scripting language? How you guys aware about the scripting language? I'm just writing few names here. Just tell me if you heard that name, these scripting languages. Okay, so how many languages you already listen? Yeah, already heard?
Sir, all.
You heard all of these languages like Ruby, Perl, PHP, JS, Bash, Shell, Lua, and Python?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So if you don't know about these languages, guys, so not an issue. Don't be panicked, because these languages are basically used for creating some type of scripting code. And that scripting code is basically which is called as a payload. Why it is called as a payload? Because that scripting code is basically giving you some permission to gaining access of that particular system or a network. So overall, if you're just going to talk about like what is the definition of hacking, so we can say that hacking is just a technique, as the Shri already said, like hacking is just a technique, and this technique can be done by the two part. The first one which is called as a VA, and the second thing which is called as a PT. In the VA part, we are just trying to find out some type of vulnerability which is present in that particular system or a network, and the PT part, we are just exploit that vulnerability by the sending of that payload which is created by that scripting language for gaining access of that particular system or a network. So guys, this is the basic definition of hacking. This is the basic algo of hacking which is used by the every type of person who are basically involving in a cyber security field as well as a hacking field also. So if the person is basically involved in this type of technique, yeah, that using this type of technique, so you can say that that person is basically performing the hacking procedures, yeah, hacking stuff. Okay. Okay. So in other terms, you can also say that like hacking means to accessing any data information on any system with and without the permission of individuals. If you have a permission, like this is the differentiation between this is the difference between the ethical and the non-ethical actually, because hacking is basically a two types. The first one which is called as an authorized way of hacking, and the second way which is called as an unauthorized way of hacking. If we are going to talk about like what is the authorized way of hacking, so it means if the person is basically having some permission before performing any type of hacking procedure, so it means that person is basically performing the ethical way of hacking, as well as we can say that legal way of hacking, as well as we can say that that person is performing authorized way of hacking. If the permission is doesn't have, or don't have a permission, and after that without permission they are, if the person is basically without taking permission, and once they are just performing any type of hacking procedures over to hack that different types of system as well as a network, so we can say that that person is basically performing the unauthorized way of hacking, illegal way of hacking, which is also called as a unethical way of hacking and non-ethical way of hacking also. So these are the two types of hacking, and hacking procedure like ethical and non-ethical is basically completely depending upon the user's perspective. Like if the user is basically use that technique for the good intent, that we then we can say that that person is basically performing the legal way of hacking, yani कि ethical way of hacking. If the person is not using that technique, if the person is using that technique for the illegal purpose, like they want to perform some type of procedure related to hacking for hack the different types of data which is present in the web application as well as the system as well as the network, so we can say that that person is basically performing the non-ethical way of hacking, that is completely depending upon the user's perspective. So overall, if we are just going to talk about, so hacking is basically a simple technique which is used by the every type of person who are involving in a cybersecurity field. So I hope so the point is clear, like what is ethical, what is non-ethical, and what is the basic definition of hacking, right guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so if you want to say that like what is ethical, so you can also say that means legal practice which should be performed, so we can also say that that is a ethical way of hacking in terms of like ethicals, so you can say that. Okay, so we will learn about the hacking techniques with the using of two procedures. The first one that is called as a offensive, and the second thing which is called as a defensive. Okay, so anyone can tell me like what is offensive and what is defensive? Guys, if you know then okay, if you don't know just try to answer, because no one is here to judge you, you just judge yourself also, because if you are just not participate with this training period and you are not say anything, it means you are not aware about this training, and after that maybe you will not learn it properly. So just participate. If the answer is right, that's okay. If the answer is wrong, that's also okay, because this is a training period. No one will here to judge you.
So may I answer?
Yes, definitely, sure.
Offensive is basically attacking, performing an attack. So Red Hat tools are generally offensive tools, and then
Okay.
defensive is just like protecting yourself from any kind of attack. So any
Okay.
measures you take to prevent any attack from happening on yourself is known as defensive.
Okay. Okay, you are right. What's your name?
So Sandhya.
Sandhya is right. Okay. So guys, offensive means to attack, and protection means to protect, right? Defense means to protect the things. Okay. So if you are only going to attack mode, like if you are interested to find out the vulnerabilities, like I am introducing the thing which is related to like a penetration testing here. So if you are only interested to find out the vulnerabilities via the performing of some type of attacking procedures like offensive things, and find out the vulnerability which is present in that particular system or a network, so in future you can join the red team of cybersecurity, guys. And if you are only interested to find out the vulnerabilities in concern of to protect or provide some type of protection which is related to the vulnerability which is present in that particular system or a network, so in future you can join the blue team of cybersecurity. So I hope so the both team are clear to all, like what is the work of red team and what is the work of blue team.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, great guys. So anyone can tell me like what is the difference between the red team person and the attackers, because both are performing the same procedure, like they are find out the vulnerabilities as the concern of like the attacking procedures, like they are performing the attacking procedure for finding out the vulnerabilities in that. So what is the difference between the red team person and the attackers?
So can you repeat the question, please?
Okay, I'm just asking like what is the difference between the red team persons as well as the attackers, because both are persons are basically performing the same technique, they are performing the same procedures just to find out the vulnerabilities regarding the attacking procedures, like they are performing they are using the attacking procedure to find out the vulnerability which is present in that particular system as well as the network. So what is the difference between both of them?
The red team has authorization.
Okay.
So I guess the blue team after after finding the loopholes or attacks, they need to fix them also.
Okay. Okay, so I'll just tell you, like the, I guess someone is said like the authorization. Who's किसने बोला? Who said the authorization word?
Sir Sarthak.
Sarthak. Okay, Sarthak, you are right. The first thing that is the authorization again. Like the red team person is basically the appointed team which is appointed by the organization to find out the vulnerabilities which is present in that particular application as well as the network also. And the second thing that is the information. Okay, so after finding out the any type of vulnerability, like if I'm giving you example, like suppose that a company basically created a new application and they are said my application is fully secured and configured with the high security policies. So in that scenario, the red team person just take these challenge. If they are appointed by that organization, they are just try to hack that particular application with the use via the using of some loophole which is presented in that particular application. And after that, if they are success, they are simply said sir your application is not fully secured. If they are success, they are said sir your application is fully, sorry, if they are not success, they are said sir your application is not success, then they are said sir your application is fully secured. If they are not success, if they are success, then they are said sir your application is not fully secured. So in that scenario, if the red person is basically performing that procedure, so they can also access that particular information which is presented in that particular application, but they cannot steal, they cannot temper that information which is presented in that particular application. But the attacker, once the attacker is basically attack on that application, and once they are just getting the access, after that they are just stealing that information as well as they can also tamper, also performing some type of modification procedures over that. So the team, the organization is basically facing some types of problem regarding the user panels, regarding the different types of credentials of the users. So this kind of problems will be faced by the different organization if the attacker is basically attacked on that particular application. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So guys, there is one video. Actually, I'm just representing a one video. So after seeing this video, so you can easily understand like what is the actual hacking, and after seeing this video you can easily understand like what is the actual hacking and how you can perform the actual hacking, and even then attackers like what type of procedures are basically using the attacker to perform the hacking over the normal peoples. Okay, so I would like to represent that small video, so I guess you will understand very quickly.
Discover
Yep. So if you are just going to talk about like what is the things are basically what type of platforms or what type of OS are basically involving in a mobile based hacking. So in a mobile based hacking, the Android type of OS you are seeing most of the times, and that is based on the platform that is a Linux based. So the Linux platform is basically used for creating a OS which is called as a Android. Your most of the persons are basically using the iOS phone, that is the Apple phone. So in that case, the Unix platforms, the Apple is basically created on the Unix platform. Okay, how many aware about the Symbian OS? Anyone heard about that term, Symbian?
Yes, sir.
Okay, tell me, what is it, Symbian?
Sir, it is one of the oldest OS used in some Nokia phones. I remember
Yeah,
Nokia
exactly.
Screen Touch.
Exactly. Not in Windows phone. Devtage, Devtage. Sorry, I doesn't pronunciate your name properly. Okay, so in not in Windows phone, in the Nokia phone, that is right. Okay, I will tell you like once when the Android phone is not coming in the market, like in 2011 as well as 2012, I guess. So before that, every type of multimedia phone is basically based on the Java platform, and the OS is basically called as a Symbian OS. Okay, so that time the Symbian OS is basically designed by the companies, and with the using of that OS, your phone is basically switched to the like smart devices, yeah, multimedia phones, you can say that. The other type of platform which is called as a Windows phone, and you are already aware about the platform that is a Windows, like Nokia phone, Win phone. So every type of phones which is called as a Windows platform, if they are having a Windows platform, so that is based on the Windows, right? Win mobiles, which is also called as a, like Microsoft device are also coming in 2013 as well as a 14, I guess. So that device are also based on the Windows. Okay, so I hope so the mobile platforms is clear to all. Okay, nowadays there are multiple other platforms are also, sorry, multiple OS are also available, but that all the OS are basically based on the Linux OS. So I'm not mentioned here the types of all type of mobile OSs, but if you want to learn about that thing, so you can just go through and search it on the Google, like mobile OS, and after that you will get a list, proper list, and you can learn it from there. Okay, the next thing, like the different types of platform we are using for hacking, yeah, we are performing, yeah, we are just trying to hack the different types of platform which is based on the like Unix platform, like Apple type of devices, as I already told you, which is working on the Unix platform. You can easily hack the Linux platform which is having some type of Linux flavors like a Kali, Ubuntu, Parrot, and Mint, different types of OS we have. And we are using a Kali operating system. So most of the time we are using a Kali operating system to hacking other type of devices which is connected in a network, which is available on the network, as a physical access also. So you can use a Kali Linux, Kali OS, and with the using of that OS you can easily hack the devices. The next thing, that is a Windows based OS, and you already aware about like the versions of the Windows, guys, like Windows 7, Windows 8, Windows 10, Windows 10.1. So these are the types of system based hacking things which is involved, and the attackers are trying to hack these type of OS on the basis of different platforms. Okay, if we are just going to talk about like the network based hacking, so the network based hacking, if you want to perform the network based hacking, so firstly you need to connect the IP address first. If the any type of computing device, as I already told you, like having an IP address, so you can hack that device. That is again based on like system based, after the getting the IP address, so you can hack that device with the using of that IP address. So there are three types of addresses are basically involved in a network based hacking. The first address, which is called as a network address, which is also called as a IP address, and it is looks to seems like this 192.168.0.23. And a physical access, that is called as a MAC address, and a local address, which is also called as a local host address 127.0.0.1. Okay, so just tell me, guys, what do you know about a network address? And if I'm just asking about like what is the definition here, what is the role of the network address, not a definition, what is the role of the network address and what is the role of the physical address? So anyone can tell me like what is the role of both type of addresses? Hello. Hello. Guys, are you there? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, so why I'm not participating, guys? I already told you, if you don't know about that things, that's okay. Just try to answer. Okay, not an issue. I will tell you like what is the role of both these addresses. Like, okay, so if you're just going to talk about like what is the network address, so network address, as I already told you, the IP address. If you are connected your device into the internet, so the network address is basically liable for sending the data packets from your network to another network. So in that case, if you're not having any type of IP address, so you are not sended any type of data packet from your network to another network. So this is the use of the network address, guys. What is a physical address? Physical address, which is also called as a MAC address, and with the using of MAC address, you can easily identify the device type, and this is the unique address of the every device. Like for an example, um, like if any in the any network, like suppose that 50 devices are connected, and I just want to know like what is the type of that device, because I get it only the IP address of that device, not the name and not the type of device. So in that case, how I can find out like what type of device is basically connected in that particular network? So with the using of MAC address, we can easily identify like this is the type of this particular device. So MAC address is basically liable to find out like what type of device is exactly in the network. The next thing, that is a local host address. And what is that local host address, guys? Local host address is basically called as a local address, and with the using of that address, you can easily share the files with the using of local host, local network. And with the using of that local network, you can easily connect your you can easily send your files in the intranet connections using with the internet connection method. So this it is looks like 127.0.0.1. Okay, so have you ever tried like the local host address configure in your local machine, in your machine? Anyone, have you ever tried to configure the local host?
No, sir.
Okay, so not an issue, guys, if you're not configured that. So I will tell you like how you can configure it. And this is a fixed IP of the local host, that is 127.0.0.1. Okay, uh, I will give you one homework, guys, that is like, just tell me, this is a homework, guys. Like if I'm just write like this is the default format to write the local host address, but if I'm write the local host address like this, like 127.90.34.54, so in that scenario, is there any like possibility, so is there any possibility to access the local host dashboard or not? So this is your homework, guys. You just tell me at tomorrow, like is it possible or not? Okay.
Okay, sir.
So I guess the question is clear to all.
Sir, actually, can you explain it again?
Okay, I'm just asking like this is a default format to write to access the local host dashboard. Okay, but I just want to access the dashboard with the using of this IP address. So is it possible or not?
Oh, okay, sir. Yeah.
Okay, so I want an answer tomorrow in the chat box. Okay, so I guess everyone will be participate and try to find out the answer regarding this local host and tell me tomorrow. Okay, so the next thing, that is a window. Okay, so if you want to check the IP address in your Windows operating system, so you can use a command, that is a ipconfig, which is also called as a internet protocol configuration. So with the using of internet protocol configuration, you can check the IP address with on your Windows machine. So this is the command ipconfig. So okay, let me show you how you can use this command. So you need to open the CMD first. Just go into the search bar and just type. Yeah, you can also use the window R, like window key plus R. If you just type the window key plus R, press the window key plus R, so the run panel is open and you just type the CMD over there. So after that, the CMD is command prompt is open and you can just write the command, that is a ipconfig, and just press the enter. So after that, you will see here the different types of addresses are basically showing by this particular command, and you can see the different types of interfaces also. So now this time I'm just connected, I'll connected with my interface, that is a wireless interface. So that's why it is showing me the IP, that is a 192.168.1.5. This is my IPv4 type of address, this which is also called as a local address as well as a private address. Clear, guys, how you can check the IP address on your Windows machine?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. So if you want to check the IP address on your Linux machine, so you can use the different command, that is the difference between only the one character, that is replace of P to F. It means you can use a command that is a ifconfig, and with the using of that command, you can check the IP address on your Linux machine. So guys, this time I'm not showing the Linux machine, but in our later classes I will tell you like how you can check, yeah, how you can use this command to check the IP address in your Linux machine also. So if the anyone is having a type of OS like a Ubuntu, Kali and something else, so that person is basically trying to put that command on your CMD, and after that, sorry, not in CMD, in the Linux, that is a terminal. So you can use, you can put that command over the terminal, and after that you will get the IP address. So this is the full what is the full form of the IF config? That is the interface configuration. So interface configuration is the full form of the IF config. Okay, so what is the command to check the MAC address in your machine? Yeah, what is the command to check the MAC address of your machine? So with the using of window in the Windows machine, you can use a command that is a get MAC. So if you are just put the get MAC command and just press the enter, so you will get the MAC address of your machine. And if you want to check the MAC address in your Linux machine, so you can use the same command, that is a ifconfig, and after that you will get the result. So I will show you like how you can check the like how you can check the MAC address of your Windows machine as well as any type of device. So if you want to check your MAC address of your Android phone, so you can also check, like just go into the about section, just go into the setting and click on the about section, and after that you will see the result of the IP addresses with the correlation of the MAC address also. So there in MAC address is also mentioned in there about us. Okay, so just use a command that is a get MAC and just press the enter. So after that you will receive a multiple type of addresses. So guys, as you can see here, the physical address and the transport name, and you can see the addresses which is available here, and my device MAC address is this, but I have 3 more type of MAC addresses. Why it's showing me 3 more type of MAC addresses, I will tell you into the later class, because this is not a concept of this time. So I will tell you into the later class like why my machine is basically showing me the multiple MAC addresses. Okay. Okay, so I hope so the concept is clear, like what type of technique you are using for performing the hacking, and overall like where you can perform the hacking over the systems as well as a network. Clear to all?
Yes.
Okay, so guys, I said again, like if you are having any type of doubt related to any type of term, so you can ask me on the same time. So I would like to solve that queries on the same time, because after that, like once the topic is complete and after that you are asking about that particular doubt, so maybe that is a possibility, like we need to repeat that particular things, and after that we can understand. So that is a completely like the waste of time. So you just ask the questions at the same time if you are having any type of problem to understand any type of term. Okay, so the next thing we are going to discuss, that is a type of hacker. So guys, this is the introduction session. As you know guys very well, like every type of book, once you are open for the learning, so that is the introduction session. But this session will definitely give you the basic concept, will give you the clear of the basic concept of your hacking, because this session is basically based on the concept, not a theory. So if you completed your concept part completely and successfully, so you can easily understand the terms, and in after the later classes, like in the later classes, once we are just using the practical part, so at that time I'm not going to explain these terms again. So it's better to understand these terms here, and we'll use that these terms into the practical parts very quickly and easily. Okay, so let's say talk about the hackers. So anyone can tell me like how many types of hackers we have and who is hacker?
Sir, anyone who performs hacking.
That is the same thing I mentioned in my notes. Okay, anything else, like how many types of hackers we have?
Oh, sir, 3.
Okay. Guys, if you want, you can answer in the Hindi also. If you like hesitate to answer in the English language, so you can easily answer me in the Hindi. That is completely okay to me. Because I am from India, I know the Hindi language. Okay, anyone?
So may I answer?
Yeah, definitely, sure. Don't ask like may I answer. Just answer.
Yes, so white hat hackers, then there are black hat hackers, then gray hat hackers, then
Okay.
there are script kiddies also,
Okay.
and suicide hat hackers.
Okay.
5 types of hackers are.
Okay. Can you please explain like these type of hackers?
Yes, so white hat, they they have good intentions and they are legal. Then black hat hackers are basically they are crackers.
Okay.
So they are doing the illegal stuff. And
Okay.
then the gray hat hackers are basically white hack, like they are in between, like they do for the outside world. Maybe they are the white hat hackers, but like their intentions are not good, like they would use the information in the wrong way maybe.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And then suicide hat hackers are basically they are doing or doing any attack just for the name and fame. So they don't basically they want to show the world that that they are revealing their name and they do not care about the consequences. So
Okay.
suicide
Okay.
hat hackers.
Okay. Okay.
And script kiddies are basically they just implement uh, if they learn it from somewhere, like from example for example from YouTube. So they just implement it, they don't know the inside knowledge of it.
Okay. 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 Great. Okay. Okay. All good. Okay. That's great. Okay. So guys, I will tell you like who is hacker and how many types of hackers we have. So you can also see on my screen like the definition of the hacker, like if the any type of person who are basically perform the any type of hacking techniques, so we can say that that is a hacker. And in the other words, we can also say that hacker are the most skilled and technical peoples who are proficient in understanding the technical aspects also. So the hackers is actually a technical person because they already aware about the technology, they are already about the developer things, and they are already about the testing things also. Because okay, I will tell you like where the hackers are exist. So hackers are exist on the top level because if I'm giving you some examples, suppose that a company is basically taking a project to creating a different types of to creating a particular application. So in that case, the developers are basically involved for creating that particular application, and the tester, that is called as a software tester, that are involved for find out the different types of bugs that is basically presented in that particular application as a report section, like on the output section. Like if the person basically click on that particular application, and after like application icon, so after that that application is basically doing some type of other activity, the result is not actually the appropriate. So in that case, the software tester is basically work to check these type of things that is related to like a output. But the hackers are the top things because they aware about the both of the knowledge regarding the profile, which is the developer profile as well as the like software tester profile. Because if the hacker don't know about the both of the profiles, so they don't know they can not find out the vulnerability which is presented in that particular application. And with the using of like source code analysis procedure, if the hackers is want to perform some type of source code analysis procedure, so firstly they need to aware about that technology also. So if they are not aware about that particular technology, they don't know about that particular language, like what type of syntax and what type of logics are basically used in that. So that is completely like tough thing for the hacker to find out the vulnerabilities. But guys, just remember this thing, this is a thing which is involved in a later, like if you are switching your profile in a penetration testing, like working by like 2 to 3 years, after that you need to use these things. But if you are on the fresher, so don't worry about that. On the fresher level, you don't need to understand these things. Okay, so I guess the hacker definition is clear to all, because the hackers are the most skilled person and the technical people who are proficient in understanding the technical aspects. Okay, so how many types of hacker we have? As the Sandhya said, we have 3 types of hackers in the core categories. The first one, that is a white hat hacker. The second one, that is a gray hat hacker. And the third one, that is a, sorry, the black hat hacker. And the third one, that is a gray hat hackers. So if we are just going to talk about like what is a white hat hackers, who is the white hat hackers? So white hat hackers are basically a type of person who are basically performing hacking, but who are basically performing hacking after getting the permission. Like firstly they are getting the permission, and after that they are just performing the hacking to hack the different types of devices which is connected in the network and try to find out the vulnerabilities which is present in that also. So these are the hackers are basically called as the ethical hackers as well as the authorized hackers also. The next hacker, which is also called as the black hat hackers, called as the crackers. Why these are the hackers are basically called as the crackers? Because these hackers are basically performing hacking without taking any type of permission, and after performing the hacking, once they are just find out any type of data which is present, yeah, any type of information which is present in that particular system, network as well as the application, they are using that information for the illegal way. So this kind of thing is basically involved, yeah, this kind of thing is basically performed by the black hat hacker, which is also called as the crackers. The next hackers, which is called as a gray hat hackers, also called as a bug bounty hunters. So Sandhya, this time you are wrong, because the gray hat hackers are basically a type of person who are basically involved in both type of hacking materials, like a white hat and a black hat. They are not taking any type of permission before performing any type of hacking, but after find out the vulnerability which is presented in that particular application, they are not exploiting that vulnerability. They are just simply explain to the organization like this type of vulnerability are basically presented in your application. So once the gray hat hacker basically find out the vulnerabilities, the company will give the prize money to that particular attacker, like you are the person to find out the vulnerabilities for our application and save us for the black hat hackers. So that's why the companies are basically giving the prize money. So as I already written an example, like Google search engine hack, if the person, Google said, if the anyone is having a capability to hack my search engine, so I will give them $1 million. So this is the same, this is the process basically work in a gray hat hacker. So I guess the core category is clear to all. And after learning about this training session, you can also work as a bug bounty hunter to find out the vulnerabilities on the appropriate websites, appropriate platforms, and after that you can find out the vulnerabilities and just get the prize money from the different organizations also. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir, clear.
Okay, so okay, so I guess guys, have you ever tried to know like what type of companies are basically involving to giving this type of money to the hackers?
So can you please repeat the question?
I'm just asking, have you ever heard the company name who are basically open the challenge to hack my different types of application as well as the devices, and I will give you some type of money as a prize money?
Google.
Apple.
Google, Apple, okay. Tesla?
Sir, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter.
The most famous company, now this time, this is a Tesla company, guys. Tesla said, if the anyone is having a capability to hack my electronic car, so I will gift a proper $2 million of car and the job also.
Anonymous.
Anonymous. Anonymous is basically a group. Anonymous is basically
Yes, sir.
Anonymous group is uh, send a message to Elon Musk, like I doesn't remember the message like what the message is basically sent by the Anonymous. uh, it's something like you can read it on the like social media platform, as well as you can also search on the Google, guys. Okay, so just leave it this thing. Okay, so let's talk about the other categories of the hackers. So we have different other categories also, like the first one, that is a script kiddies. So the script kiddies are basically a type of hackers who don't know aware about the technology, but they are performing the hacking with the using of pre-made hacking tools. As the Sandhya said, like they are performing the hacking for any type, like for the any way. So if the person is basically performing the hacking with the using of pre-made hacking tool, but they don't know aware about like what is the procedure basically working behind that, so these type of hackers are basically called as a script kiddies. So at the starting point, guys, you are working as a script kiddies because you don't know about the technology, you don't know about like what is the procedure basically working behind that. So you are performing a type of phase, yeah, you are just performing a type of profile that is a script kiddies type of, right? The next thing, that is a hacktivist. Hacktivists are the type of hacker who are basically performing the hacktivism to hack the different types of websites, and after that they are just leave a message over there, and that message basically related to like a political message, religious message, as well as the regional message, as well as a personal message also. So you are already said about, like Sandhya, you are already said like the suicide hackers, right?
Yes, sir.
So suicide hackers are basically categorized into the hacktivist because they are just sended a message over that particular website. And what is the vulnerability behind that? That is the accesses vulnerability. Accesses vulnerability is basically raised from the JavaScript code, and JavaScript code is basically a type of scripting language which is used for to configure the UI of the website. So every type of website is basically using that code. Okay, I will give you one example. Have you heard about the university name, that is the Jamia University, right, guys?
Yes, sir.
So in 2000, in 2008, 17, yeah, I guess 18, like I guess 17. In 2017, the Jamia University student is basically hacked the Jamia University website and just leave a message over there. If the person is basically trying, like if the anyone can open that particular website, a message will come within a pop-up message, and that message basically return a type of message like wish a happy birthday to Pooja. So this is a personal message. But suppose that if the person is basically write some type of message which is related to like a political as well as a religious message, like to create some conflict between the Hindu and Muslims. So in that case, maybe the big issue will be raised, right? So this kind of thing is basically included in the hacktivism, which is done by the hacktivist. So I hope so the point is clear, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so guys, one more homework. You just tell me into the next class, means tomorrow, like once the message basically raised on that particular Jamia University website, that is wish a happy birthday to Pooja. So after that, that person is basically apologize for that message, and they are just send it another message in the next day. So what is the next message? You just tell me at tomorrow. That apologize message.
Sorry, Pooja.
No, not a sorry message, not sorry Pooja is not a right message. Just tell me at tomorrow, okay? Now let's talk about the freakers. The question is clear, right? The homework is clear to all? Like what type of things you need to search on the Google?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you just tell me at tomorrow, like what type of apologize message basically written by that particular person. Okay. So the next thing, that is the freakers. Freakers are the other categories of the hackers, and freakers are basically performing hacking with the using of some type of phone calls, online chat, messages, etc., etc. So if I'm giving you some example, like a phone call, so suppose that someone calls you and said, "Hello, sir, I'm called from this car department," in a girl's voice. Okay. So, hello, sir, I'm calling from this card department, and your card expiry very soon. Please confirm your 16-digit number and your expiry date and your PIN number. So, after that, you will receive an OTP. Yeah, after that, you will receive a message on your registered mobile number. Once you just share me that OTP as well as a message, your card will be renewed for the lifetime. So this kind of activity is basically most of the time is basically done by the hacker, which is called as a freakers. Clear, guys? Okay. I will tell you one more example, that is the online chats. Okay, so how many guys aware about like a Facebook frauds? Like the person is basically message on the Facebook and they are just stealing the money from your bank account by the using of some type of social engineering. Have you heard about this type of crime before? Someone message. Okay. Sorry, I have a boyfriend, Pooja.
Yes, sir. This was the second message.
Guys, just learn it properly. Okay, the message is right actually, but this is a homework. So I'll just suggest you just, if you are just telling me at tomorrow, so that is completely a good thing, right? But not an issue. Okay, so in the next class, if you remember this thing, so that is a good for the others ones also, because you are searching that message at the same time, and you are just answer at the same time. But for that answer, after getting that answer, other people are not aware, and other people will not participate in the question as well as the homework also, right? So my concern is basically why I'm just giving you some type of homework, because these homework will aware about the different types of crimes, and you will easily learn about that things, and you will aware about the different types of cyber crimes as well as the technologies also, once you are just read that type of articles. Okay, guys? So don't worry about that. The answer is true. Okay. The other persons who don't know the answer, just find out the answer and just tell me at tomorrow. Okay, so I'm just asking about, like, have you heard that the crime which is related to like a Facebook fraud? Anyone? No one is heard about that crime in your circle, in your family? Never?
No, sir.
Great. Okay, so I will give you the example, like what type of things are basically used by the attackers. Like the attackers, firstly, the attackers are basically use a person's phone, like suppose use a person's mail ID, and like they are firstly hacked the Facebook. As like if I'm giving you example of the Facebook, so the attacker is firstly hacked the Facebook ID of that particular person, and after that they are just find out like what type of person, like the what type like which one is basically close to that person, and after that they are just message to that person like, I am in problem and I'm in hospital and some type of accident has happened with my friend as well as my family, and just send me, please send me the money this quickly, so I will deposit that money, and treatment will start. So this kind of things is basically involved in that particular message, and you that person is basically manipulate that mind with via saying like my phone is stolen by someone and I don't have phone, so I can't call you, that's why I'm just message you on the Facebook. So this kind of message will be used, and this kind of manipulation concept will be used by the attackers for hacking, for performing the stealing money from the different users. And after that, once the user basically send that money, so they are simply thinking I'm just send it to my friend, but that friend is don't know, that friend is not aware about like this kind of thing is basically happened by the attacker. Okay, so the messages, if I'm giving the example related to like a messages, so guys, once I'm just showing, once you are just seeing the video, that is like how, what is the actual hacking video. So you are seeing a message like related like idea app message, remember? So in that scene, once you are just seeing that message, you are just receiving that message like uh, the 5 lakhs rupees deposited in deposit in your account, just click on this link and complete the payment. So this kind of thing is basically done by the freakers by the sending of some messages. Okay, the next one, that is called as a noobs. Noobs, who is noobs? Noobs are just a new person who just want to try, who just are enter in a cyber security field as a first time. So the persons who are basically entering in a cyber security field as a first time, which is called as a noobs. So guys, just think about it. You are noob, you are freaker, you are hacktivist, like what type of hacker you are right now. Okay, so I will give you one link. So with the by the follow of that link, you can easily understand and you can easily read out some type of article related to the hackings. So this is the website link, guys, the hackernews.com. This is a very good website, and with the learning of by the learning of that website, you can easily understand like different types of attacks are basically performing by the attackers in a world. So like you can see here, ransomware attack, partnering with the cybercrime group to hack the high profile targets. Just click on this link and read it, the article properly. The Nokia, this is a normal, this is not attack, ad, this is the ad. Okay, Instagram bug allowed anyone to view private accounts without following them. Apple issues urgent patches for 2 0-day flaws exploited in the wild. Anyone can tell me like what is a 0-day? Do you have any idea about the 0-day? Have you heard this term? 0-day?
No, sir.
Okay. 0-day is basically a type of vulnerability, guys. Like at the first time, if the vulnerability is basically raised in the application, which is called as a 0-day vulnerability. Yeah, you can assign that vulnerability as a 0-day. Like application is used frequently by the users, and the vulnerability, like for an example, like buffer overflow vulnerability, and the buffer overflow vulnerability is not raised in the Chrome application till now, but in the version of like 81, the buffer overflow vulnerability is basically raised. So this kind of vulnerability is basically raised as a first time in the Chrome application. That's why that vulnerability is basically called as a 0-day. So if I'm showing you like Chrome vulnerability, Chrome 0-day. Now just look at here. The Google rushes out fix for 0-day vulnerabilities in the Chrome. You can read it from here, and the version is 90. This is the latest version, I said, I guess. The another new vulnerability is basically raised. 1 in 4 0-day last year. So this is a CVE number. CVE number, what is that? That is a common vulnerability exposure. This number will define like this type of vulnerability is basically presented in that particular application. So we will also discuss about that CVE number later. Once we are just going to discuss about the module that is a vulnerability assessment module. Type confusion in V8 is Google Chrome prior 90.0.4430.85 allowed a remote attacker to execute arbitrary code inside a sandbox via the crafted HTML page. So this kind of thing is basically raised and listed in the vulnerability number, that is 2021212224. So I hope so the 0-day vulnerability is clear to all, right? Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Now, so till now we discussed about some things that is related to like a hacking, that is related to like a types of hacking, the different types of areas where you can perform the hackings, and we discuss about like the hackers and the types of hackers, which is having some core categories and the other categories also. Okay, now we are going to discuss about the cyber crimes. So what is cyber crimes? So if we are just going to discuss about like what is cyber crimes, so perform any type of hacking with the using of like some type of electronic gadgets as well as the internet as an illegal way. So we can say that that person is basically performing the cyber crime, and that crime is also called as a cyber crime. If that crime is basically related to like a malicious activity to hack the different types of computer system without that concerns. So we have a multiple types of cyber crimes. So let's discuss about each one. So the first crime that is called as a computer fraud. So what is that computer fraud? Computer fraud is basically a type of crime in which the attacker is basically trying to access that particular system without without the consent of that person's owner, as well as after getting the access, they are just performing some type of fraudulent things over there. So this kind of thing is basically related to like a computer fraud. Even and the person is the attacker is also trying some type of social engineering thing to hack that particular computer devices, which is also count in a computer fraud type of crime. The next time, which is called as a privacy violation. What is that? Privacy violation is basically the exposing data over the internet. If the person is basically involving for exposing the data over the internet, so we can say that that type of crime is basically called as a privacy violation. Like if you don't have a permission and after hacking that devices, if you got some type of media file, some type of private stuff from there, and after that if you are just publishing that type of media files over the internet, over the social media platform without the concern of that particular person, so this kind of crime is basically called as a privacy violation. The next type of crime, which is called as a identity theft. So the identity theft is basically stealing the information from the system as well as the network. Identity theft is basically performed by the attackers via the two types. The first one, that is a stealing information. It means they can tamper that information which is present in that particular application, network as well as system. Even then, the attackers are also using the different the different person's identity for entering in an organization and performing some type of cruel activity in that. So this is also a type of attack which is called as identity theft. The next thing, that is sharing copyrighted files information, which is also called as a leaking the confidential files. So what is that? Sharing copyrighted files information, it means if the person is basically sharing, suppose that you are working in a company and another company is basically giving you the offer, just share me the project details and project keys and the client names, and after that I will give you some type of prize money and the job in our company also. So in that case, if the person is basically like, if the employee is basically share these type of details to the another one, so it means that person is basically performing the sharing copyrighted files information. So this kind of crime is basically called as a cyber crime. Okay, so there is a person who are basically involved in this type of crime, and that is the most popular person in a hacking field. So anyone can tell me like who is that person, the name of that person? Have you heard about the name that is Edward Snowden? Yeah, the page that is
Yes.
Snowden. Okay, so guys, this is the homework again. You need to learn about the Edward Snowden, the history of the Edward Snowden, and there are like 2 to 3 movies are already created on the profile, yeah, on the history of Edward Snowden. So just go and see that movie so you can easily understand like what type of things is basically used by the Edward Snowden in our whole career, and what the reason why the Edward Snowden is do this type of thing, like sharing copyrighted files, oblique information related crime. So just go and learn it about the Edward Snowden's history. The next one, that is electronic money transfer, which is which is done by the MITM attack over the net banking as well as a transaction procedure. And with the using of that electronic money transfer, anyone like attacker can easily capture your packet between the transmission channel, and after that they can change, yeah, they can manipulate the data packet which is travel over that communication channel. They can also change the account number, they can also change the amount, and the person is again receiving the OTP, but the OTP is not written a message like this type of amount is basically, yeah, this percent of amount is basically transfer from your side to that person, but this is not mentioned in the message of the OTP. So the person is basically putting the OTP, and after that the message go through and the amount is transferred to the another account. So this kind of thing is also done by the MITM, yeah, electronic money transfer. The next thing, the next type of crime which is called as electronic money laundering. So if we are only going to talk about like a laundering thing, so laundering thing, it means to convert the black money to the white money. So if you are convert any type of money to black to white, which is called as a electronic money laundering. So I'll just suggest you 2 movies name. The first movie name, that is a Commando 2, and the second movie name, that is a Shivaji the Boss. Just see that video so you can easily understand the concept, like what type of concept is basically used by the persons for converting the black money to white money. Clear, guys?
Yes.
The next type of fraud, which is called as a ATM fraud. So what is that ATM fraud? ATM fraud is basically cloning of the ATM cards. So what is that cloning of the ATM cards? So anyone can tell me like what type of things is basically using in the ATM fraud? Hello? Anyone knows like what type of fraud is basically related to ATM?
Yes, sir. Basically, seeing this pin number, basically.
Seeing the
That
pin
thing.
number, okay. Anything else? Okay, not an issue, guys. I will tell you like what type of crime is basically involving in a ATM fraud. That is already I mentioned in the note, that is a cloning of the ATM fraud, like cloning of the ATM cards. So the person is basically using, like attacker is basically using a fake scanner over a real scanner who can scan your magnetic strip of the under 16-digit code, and for the pin number they are using a small camera over the pin panel. So once the person is basically typing the pin and inject the card into the scanner, so the code is basically scanned by the scanner and the pin is basically recorded by the camera. So this kind of thing is basically involved in a cloning of the ATM card. Even then, persons are also using some type of skimmer devices, like attackers are also using some type of skimmer devices to performing the ATM frauds also. They are just skim your card, and after that like they can just put it the code over the free card, yeah, over the blank card, and after that they can transact your money from your bank account very easily with the using of your PIN number. So this kind of things are also involved in a ATM fraud. So guys, I will show you some type of video related to that, the ATM fraud, so you can easily understand like what type of things are basically used by the attackers. So the next thing, that is a DOS type of attack, and the DOS attack is basically called as a denial of service attack. So what is the role of that attack? That attack is basically doing by the attackers when they are just want to crash the server as well as to slow down that particular server. So most of the time this type of attack is basically doing by the attackers on the government website as well as the private sectors also. So you are already aware about that type of attack, once you are just try to uh, book the ticket via the IRCTC. If you are already if you are just try to book the ticket with the IRCTC, so you are aware about that type of things, like the site is basically slow down. So why? Because the numbers of users are basically increased on that place, but the actual the attackers are basically doing this type of procedure also, because they are just increasing the number of requesting packets over that particular server as so much. So in that case, if the server is not having a capability to respond all the packet at the same time, so the server is basically going to crash as well as to slow down. So this is the type of thing which is involved in a cyber crime called as a DOS type of attack. So we will see like what type of procedure is basically used by the attacker. So this DOS module is basically a one type of module which is available in your course content. So we will also discuss about like DOS and the DDoS later. The next thing, that is the MITM. Guys, I already tell you about the MITM type of attack, and this is a man-the-middle attack, and with we using our that attack, you can easily capture the packet between a transmission channel even, and you can capture the packets, you can capture the credentials of the users also, right? So MITM attack is basically performed by the attackers most of the time. The next type of attack is basically called as spam. Spam is basically a fake mailing system. Suppose that you have received a mail from your dad's mail ID as well as your friend's mail ID, your mother's mail ID, and that mail is basically actually that mail is not sent by that your family as well as your friend, but you have received a mail from the other person, and that mail is basically a true, and you are once you are just seeing that mail, your mail is basically you just received that mail from your known mail ID. So this kind of thing is basically used by the fake mailing system, and in that case attacker don't need doesn't need to hack the mail ID. They can easily send any type of mail with the using of another mail ID. So how they can do this thing, we will discuss about that thing into the later, like in a social engineering model. So we will also discuss about that thing as a practical part, like how the attackers are basically doing this type of things, and we will also discuss about like if there any type of thing is basically raised by the attackers, like the spam, like the fake mailing system. So how you can protect yourself, what is the mitigation process for that. So we will also discuss about that procedures. So these are the types of crimes, guys, and if you want to learn about the more crimes, just search on the Google like the different types of cyber crimes as well as cyber attack. So Google will give you some type of result which is related to like a cyber crimes, so you can easily learn it from there also. Okay, so the next thing, that is cyberbullying. So what is cyberbullying, guys? So cyberbullying is basically a type of, again, a type of crime, but this crime is most of the time, like this crime is basically done by the normal pupils also, not not for the every time is basically done by the attackers, because this is a small type of crime. We can say that like the persons are not aware this is a crime, and they are basically doing this type of things, like the catfishing, like a trolling, like a different types of other procedures also. So I would like to represent a small video related to like a cyberbullying, so you guys can easily understand like what type of procedure is basically used by the attackers as well as the normal pupils to perform this kind of crime. Okay, so the last thing for the today's session, that is the rules of ethical hacker. So what is the rules of ethical hacker? If you are working as an ethical hacker profile and you are just working in a company, so what type of rules is basically followed by you? The first rule, that is get a written permission from the owner as an organization before performing the hacking. If you want to perform any type of hacking procedure, firstly you need to getting a permission and as a written format. After that, you are just started at particular hacking procedures. The second thing, that is maintain the privacy of that organization. You need to maintain the privacy of that organization. Suppose that you are working in a company on the project, and the other one is basically steal the data from your device also. So it means you need to maintain the privacy of that organization, so that organization can secure the vulnerabilities and that is not hacked by the attackers. Transparently report to the owners as the organization about the weaknesses. You need to report every type of weakness at the end of the day, because if there are any type of weakness basically raised in your application as well as the network, so sometimes attackers can use that weakness for getting the access of the devices also. Inform the related issue to the software and the hardware vendor. If the issue is basically related to the software, so you need to inform to the software team, and the software team will inform to the software vendor. If that problem is basically related in a hardware devices, so you need to inform to the hardware team, and after that the hardware team will inform to the hardware vendor. So these are the basic rules, guys, related to the ethical hacker if you are working in an ethical hacker profiles in a cyber security. So I hope so the rules are clear to all. So this is the task time, guys. I already given you some tasks. So there is three hackers name are mentioned here. That is the first one, Edward Snowden. The second, that is a Kevin Matnick, and the third one, that is a Berset Apres. So you need to learn about these three hackers details, like the history of these hackers. And there is one link are also available here. This is the link will define you about the Kevin Matnick. So just go through with this link and you can learn it about the Kevin Matnick properly. So tomorrow you will tell me about these three hackers, and you will tell me about which I'm already giving you as a homework. Clear, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So now this time I will share the notes to you, so you can easily go through with these notes and you can easily learn it and read it properly.